You're watching VinylicPumaGaming. A weapon type that is overlooked in Skyrim are daggers. These weapons typically have shorter range than most other one-handed melee weapons, in addition to having inferior damage. You'll also find that daggers aren't counted by the game as swords, and thus don't benefit from specific sword-related weapon perks like Bladesman. There's also the issue that the Fortify one-handed enchantment for armor doesn't make daggers stronger, while other one-handed weapons like swords, axes, and maces are affected by this perk. So I think I can understand to a certain extent why some players seem to dismiss daggers at first glance. Now, while daggers aren't perfect, they do have the fastest attack speed of all one-handed weapons, and this can make daggers perfect for dual-wielding and for dual-wielding power attacks. Some weapon enchantments also seem to favor having higher attack speeds, and enchantments like Absorb Health and Absorb Stamina being some great examples. It should also be mentioned that while daggers don't have a specific weapon perk associated with them, daggers do have a sneak perk that is associated with them called Assassin's Blade, which can greatly improve sneak attack damage. Now, today I'm going to be going over what I think are some of the best daggers in Skyrim. Given that all daggers tend to have the same attack speed and range or reach, the most important attributes you're looking for in a dagger are its weight and base damage. And ideally, you're going to want the best combination of base damage and the lowest weight possible. So without further ado, these are my picks for the top 8 best daggers in Skyrim Remastered. Number 8. BLOODTHORN. So, the BLOODTHORN dagger is a fairly obscure dagger with a weird enchantment that can't be disenchanted. Otherwise, it's essentially a steel dagger with the same base damage and weight. Now, upon reading the description of the enchantment, you'll find that this dagger has Soul Trap, and at first glance, there isn't anything particularly special about this, and you may find enchanting any other dagger with a fiery Soul Trap enchantment would be better. However, when you start to use the weapon, you'll also find that it has a hidden Absorb Health enchantment too, and this can make it a decent dagger for relatively low-level characters, and maybe even higher-level characters if you wanted something that had Absorb Health and you don't have access to a lot of enchanting or smithing skills. Just like your standard steel dagger, BLOODTHORN benefits from double improvement via the steel smithing perk. Now, you will also need the arcane blacksmith perk, and you may find that you'll have a better dagger by the time you can upgrade the BLOODTHORN dagger. And that's definitely the case if you're looking for a dagger that has high damage to start with. This is a good dagger that you could get in a location called Hag's End, and you can get there by entering a place called Deepwood Redoubt that is west of Solitude. Number 7. The Blade of Woe. While I won't dispute that this isn't a good dagger, I've still got some mixed opinions on this weapon. Just to reiterate, and by no means is the Blade of Woe bad. It's just that I find it lacking in some key areas. The Blade of Woe has the same base damage as the Dragonbone dagger, which is really good. However, it is also the heaviest dagger in the game at 7 encumbrance. Another problem that I have with the Blade of Woe is its enchantment. While Absorb Health is a good enchantment, you'll find that you can easily match and even surpass this enchantment's power once your enchanting skills are high enough. Furthermore, if you have access to some of the higher-end craftable weapons in the game, you could simply enchant one of those with a more powerful Absorb Health enchantment. You could even possibly combine Absorb Health with Absorb Stamina or some other weapon enchantment to make it completely superior to the Blade of Woe. All that said, one thing that is amazing about the Blade of Woe is that while it requires the Steel Smithing perk and also the Arcane Blacksmith perk, you don't actually need any materials to upgrade it. And this is nice as you can casually upgrade the weapon on the go as your smithing skills improve. Now, obviously, the ability to improve without materials is a bug. However, it's a very cool bug that benefits the player. Now, if you want the Blade of Woe, you can get this during the Dark Brotherhood questline. Keep an eye out for Astrid. Number 6. The DAEDRIC dagger. Assuming you didn't have any DLC for Skyrim, I think I would recommend the DAEDRIC dagger as one of your best choices for a dagger, especially if you wanted very high base damage per strike and you wanted something that you can enchant. At the same time, I think what really hurts the DAEDRIC dagger is what hurts all of the other DAEDRIC weapons in Skyrim, and that is their high weight. Higher weights typically mean that you're going to get increased stamina drain during power attacks. Now, as is fitting for the high-end craftable weapons and armor, you're going to need rare materials, and you're also going to need the DAEDRIC smithing perk. This does allow for double improvement, and I think you're going to find that if you plan on sneaking around with this dagger and stabbing enemies in the back, that you'll be doing pretty well with this dagger, thanks to its inherently high base damage. On the other hand, I think if you're doing a lot of combat, you would be better off with a lighter dagger, even if it had lower base damage. Really, what makes this dagger special is that you can enchant and smith it to ridiculous levels. Otherwise, stick with something a little lighter. Number 5, the SKYFORGE steel dagger. The SKYFORGE dagger is just a weapon that you don't, or at least I wouldn't initially think of. While it isn't particularly flashy or anything, it definitely makes up for that thanks to its really good stats for a dagger. To give you an idea, the SKYFORGE steel dagger has the same base damage as an elven dagger, while it also retains the same weight of the original steel dagger. When it comes to base damage and weight efficiency, the SKYFORGE steel dagger is among the best, making it an ideal candidate to use for dual-wielding power attacks. What's also great about the SKYFORGE dagger is that just like regular steel daggers, it gets double improvement, and instead of requiring the elven smithing perk, you can still use the steel smithing perk. And when it comes to perk points, you're ultimately going to be spending less perk points to upgrade this particular weapon. I really like to use SKYFORGE steel weapons with the Elemental Fury Dragon Shout. The massive boost to your attack speed is great for DPS and for performing dual-wield power attacks. Number 4, the Dragonbone dagger. Assuming that you have the Dawnguard DLC or you have Skyrim Special Edition, you'll find that the Dragonbone dagger is going to be one of the best options for you if you want to have the highest amount of base damage on your dagger. Despite the Dragonbone dagger's high weight, I would say it's actually a little bit better than the DAEDRIC dagger, not only in terms of base damage, but also because this dagger is a little more efficient when it comes to its damage to weight ratio. Just like all of the other craftable weapons in Skyrim, you do get double improvement for this weapon via the Dragon Armor perk. Think of the Dragonbone dagger as an upgraded version of the DAEDRIC dagger. So what you're essentially getting is a dagger with one of the highest base damage values in the game that's perfect for sneak attacks. If you also want to make this a super weapon through both enchanting and smithing, you're going to get some amazing results. Really, the only things that I think would make this dagger better was if it was a little bit lighter. If it had 5 encumbrance instead of the 6.5 encumbrance, while also retaining its base damage, this would easily, hands down, be one of the best daggers in Skyrim. But if you're going for highest base damage, the Dragonbone dagger's the way to go. Number 3, VALDR'S Lucky Dagger. This is a dagger that you should really keep an eye out for during your travels in Skyrim, especially if you plan on dual-wielding daggers for combat against various enemies. At first glance, VALDR'S Lucky Dagger is your standard steel dagger with normal damage and weight. However, what makes it special is its inherent 25% chance for a critical hit. Interestingly, the game doesn't recognize this ability as an enchantment, and for that reason, you can combine this dagger with the Elemental Fury Shout, which greatly improves the attack speed of your weapons. And when you dual-wield VALDR'S dagger with, say, a SKYFORGE steel dagger that also doesn't have an enchantment, you'll come to the realization that you can easily destroy various enemies that are in your path in Skyrim. As long as you're close enough to whatever you're attacking, you'll probably kill whatever's in front of you. Because this effect is percentage based, you may find that it's better to use this in the left hand while dual wielding. This is because while performing power attacks, the left hand strikes twice. Now, if you want to get this dagger, you can get it from VALDR during the Hunter and Hunted side quest. You may have to kill a bear and some Spriggans during the side quest, but I think it's definitely worth it to get what could be one of the best daggers in Skyrim. Number 2, the STALHRIM dagger. So as you may know, STALHRIM weapons got added with the Dragonbone DLC for Skyrim and also come included with Skyrim Special Edition. While I've found STALHRIM weapons to be okay as far as other weapon types go, the STALHRIM dagger is actually pretty good. While it doesn't have the highest base damage of any dagger in Skyrim, it has double the base damage of your standard steel dagger while also being under double the weight of your steel dagger. It's sort of odd, but if you're looking for the best damage at the best weight, and you're also looking for something with a lot of enchantment options, the STALHRIM dagger might just be the best choice. Like other STALHRIM weapons, you do get improved effects when you either apply a frost damage enchantment or a chaos damage enchantment to the weapon. So if you plan on using either of those enchantments, STALHRIM would be a pretty good choice. Like other craftable weapons, the STALHRIM dagger does get double improvement, so it's capable of very high damage output, and while you might not deal quite as much damage per hit as some of the other weapons on this list, you're also getting lower stamina drain with this weapon during power attacks, which does give it a bit of an advantage. If you're looking for the best balanced craftable dagger, I would say that the STALHRIM dagger is it. Number 1, MEHRUNE'S Razor. In my opinion, MEHRUNE'S Razor may be the best dagger in Skyrim. While it certainly has its flaws, it starts off with great base damage, it has very low weight, and the MEHRUNE'S Razor has one of the best unique enchantments of any weapon in Skyrim. The potential to automatically kill any enemy in one hit is very powerful. While the odds are relatively low, when it happens, it's pretty epic. What's also great about this enchantment is that it never requires any charges, so you don't have to worry about dealing with soul gems at all and managing your equipment. Just like VALDR'S Lucky Dagger, you may find that using this in the left hand while dual wielding is going to produce the best result, as this enchantment is percentage based. That said, MEHRUNE'S Razor isn't totally perfect. While you can improve the weapon at a grindstone, it doesn't benefit from smithing perks, so you won't be receiving double improvement where you would with every other dagger on this particular list. Even the DAEDRIC dagger is capable of superior base damage. Now, acquiring this weapon may also be questionable for some players too. To get this dagger, you will need to kill Celius Visuius during the Pieces of the Past DAEDRIC side quest. If you're role-playing as a good guy, so to speak, you may find that murdering someone in Skyrim isn't something that you want to do. Even still, MEHRUNE'S Razor is really good in my opinion. It's definitely a fitting tribute to MEHRUNE'S Dagon and The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion. Alright guys, that's going to pretty much wrap up this particular video. If you like this video, please be sure to leave a like, and as always, take care, and I'll see you all next time.